Alright guys, hope you all had a good weekend. Everything is good and you're keeping safe. I have to admit it was hard making this video because it's not coming home, but never mind, it's coming Rome instead, I guess. I've recently been playing other games in my spare time, and I've also seen a lot of amazing photography photos in the Division 2 on Twitter, as always. These amazing photos are not new or anything like that, but I wanted to talk about the style over substance mentality I feel this game in particular has achieved, and why we don't need this anymore. We certainly doesn't need to be a priority. Drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all my videos, and let's begin. Since State of the Game began all the way back in the Division, the devs have always included a segment where they look at community creations, whether that be a Division 2 custom PC. I remember at one point it just looked absolutely insane, or you've got some crazy cosplay hunter outfit situation, which again is just really cool and really creative. In almost every one of those segments though, you could bet on one thing for sure. There'd be the devs' favourite in-game photo taken using the photo mode. Now whilst the photo mode in this game is inferior to other photo modes, it does have one, which many games do not. And with the game looking so beautiful, it makes for some pretty awesome photos, to be honest. Even with State of the Game gone until further notice, every couple of weeks, the official Division 2 website released their favourite community-related things, and more often than not, this will include some really cool in-game photos. Every single day, I'm getting tagged in photos using the photo mode. As of right now, as of about 5 minutes ago, I got tagged in a photo because there is currently an out of the map glitch where you can actually get out of the map and you can use photo mode, and it looks insane. The whole atmosphere, it's just a very, very beautiful game. To this day, if there's one thing that still thrives within this community, it's the passion to create amazing art from its in-game assets. And I wouldn't have it any other way as well. I think having a photo mode gives players the freedom of expression, and for many content creators, not myself, but it makes it far easier to make thumbnails. Because as you guys know, you see my thumbnails, it don't take a whole lot of work to do that, and it certainly doesn't need the use of photo mode, not very often anyway. But let's play devil's advocate here, and for a second, just a second, imagine a Division 2 where the strengths of the game didn't lie in what it looks like, but actually in its content and its gameplay. Just imagine that for 1 second. Crazy, right? Is it possible the Division 2, and 1 actually, could have done a lot better if Massive focused less on the scenery and more on the content itself? I can think of at least one example right off the bat that has caused some issues here, where style is being considered as priority over substance, and it was something that I talked about in a recent video, the Dark Zone. Now, in response to the PvP community asking for more than 12 players per server a little while back, I say a little while, it's ages back now, but Massive announced that it wasn't possible due to technical limitations. Now, these technical limitations weren't because the game's released on console, because in the Division it was 24 players per server, and that was on console as well. These limitations were created by Massive when they increased the fidelity of each asset within the Division 2, specifically the player fidelity. That's my understanding. That's what Massive actually said as well, I believe, in the State of the Game. See, Massive made a choice here to make everything look better and more detailed at the expense of having only 12 players per server in the Dark Zone. And it makes you wonder if their statement about choosing 3 Dark Zones over one big one was less about trying something new and something the game hasn't seen, and more about the choices made with fidelity that limited the scope of each Dark Zone. You couldn't well have one big Dark Zone with only 12 players in it now, could you? And this is just one example I can think of where style was chosen over substance in many ways. Now sure, maybe the devs wanted 3 Dark Zones, but with the increase in fidelity and graphics overall, they didn't leave themselves any choice, to be honest. And I wonder how many systems in the game have been backed into a corner due to this choice. Now there's no doubt that Division 2 is beautiful. It's one of, if not the best looking, realistic, post-apocalyptic type games on the market. And for that, I applaud the hard work of all of the developers. What I'm concerned about is, though, the choice of graphics over gameplay. I remember watching a stream of Asmongold one of my favourite content creators on YouTube and Twitch, where he was watching the lead up to Fallout 76. I think he was actually watching a video by Internet Historian, again, another amazing YouTuber. In the lead up, you had Todd Howard saying the infamous line, 16 times the detail, at which point Asmongold replied, "Who cares?" and continued to repeat that every time Todd mentioned anything about how the game would look. Now, whilst I don't agree that it's not part of the game and of some importance, I have the same response when I see trailers and reveals that purely focus on what the game actually looks like. And I think Asmongold went on to say that if a game focuses mainly on the way it looks, then it's probably not a very good game. And I have to admit, that has stuck with me for a very long time. I think of games like Valhalla, Among Us, not Valhalla, Valheim, Among Us, Minecraft, and all these other games that don't look the best, but guess what? They're unbelievably popular because they're just really good games. When was the last time Massive included some awesome near-miss raid completions or some crazy PvP gameplay in any of their community appreciation articles? Oh wait, it's never. Like literally never. I think at one point Hamish actually said on State of the Game that they were going to start including some PvP stuff. And I don't know if he said PvE, but that would have made sense. It's never happened. And why not? Well, I think it's because they have clearly chosen the style and what it all looks like over the substance, over what's actually in the game. And even then, I don't think many of you would challenge me if I said The Division looked better than The Division 2. So I reckon most people will agree with me there. So what you've got is a game that's meant to look better, but actually just due to the atmosphere and everything from The Division 1, The Division 1 actually looks better in my opinion. For the most part, players don't care about the finite details. They don't care that a character's hair blows in the wind now, or that you can see a character's breath in the cold, if it means the gameplay will be limited as a result. That stuff is important when you have a story-driven game and it doesn't affect the overall game. But for a game like this, it doesn't matter. And I feel like Ubisoft has a habit of doing this, not just in the Division series. You take Assassin's Creed, for example. Whilst I never played Valhalla, there's no denying it looks amazing. It just looks breathtaking. But many reviews say the game itself isn't all that great and suffers from the same issues many Ubisoft games do. Longevity. So I just want to draw this video to a close here and just kind of leave one statement for anyone at Massive if you care to watch this video. Please, I know there's very little you can do now with The Division 2, but when designing and making new content, whether that be in The Division, whether that be in any game that you make, it could be Avatar, which, as we've seen with Avatar already, guys, and this is a clear example, we've seen no gameplay of Avatar, everything has been about how it actually looks, and that's the point I'm trying to make. But any content you're going to make, can you ensure that substance, what it is that players are actually going to interact with, is the number one priority and not what it looks like? And when, well, if you are the developers for The Division 3, please make sure that style is not chosen over substance. I couldn't care less if the characters look, I don't know, like a Teletubby, if the actual gameplay and its content is amazing. The best example I can think of is Minecraft. Because let's be honest, you show anyone who's not a gamer as such, Minecraft, and they'll be like, is this game like 40 years old? I remember my wife actually saw Minecraft one point and she thought the game was like back on the SNES. And I was just like, no, that's kind of how it is, but it doesn't matter what it looks like because the game is so addictive in what it does and it does it so well, it's still popular. How old is that? What, 11, 12 years later? I don't know. But the point is, please pick substance over style, not the other way around. That's it though, guys. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to interact with me a bit more outside of YouTube, you can always follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty active on there. Always responding to people and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, follow me over at Epic Slayers. If you've watched all the way to the end, really do appreciate it. If you haven't dropped a like and you're not subbed at this point and you want to see more content of mine, then please like and sub and all that sort of good stuff. It really does help out. And until the next one, guys, Epic out.